this video, I'm going to be doing 2 or 3 different things. I'm not really keen on doing 5-minute videos, so in this video I'm going to do 2 or 3 different things and combine them into maybe a 10-15 minute video. The first thing I'm going to do is something I don't do that often, and that's an unboxing. And the reason why I'm going to do this unboxing is because there's actually 78 in this box here, and this is the only 78 I have, which I showed in a recent video. I love me tender any way you want me. So I'm kind of nervous about opening this box because I don't normally buy 78s in the mail on the internet. That one I bought in a store in Tokyo, and the reason why I don't buy them online is because most people don't really know how to pack 78s. So you might be about to see a grown man cry. Anyway, I'm going to try and open this as soon as possible, but as carefully as possible. I've given it a little shake and I can't hear any pieces of 78 rattling around. So I'm kind of hopeful that they will be okay. There are actually 3 78s in here. One is not by Elvis. 2 Elvis ones and one by someone else, which I'll show you shortly. 78s in Japan, the Elvis 78s were available until 1958, and the last ones, King Creole, that sort of period, those are the most difficult ones to find. That one there, Love Me Tender, is one of the most common ones. And the 2 in here are reasonably, I won't say easy to find, but not among the most difficult to find. Alright, so I've got inside the box, and now I've got some bubble wrap. I did ask the seller to pack them carefully, being that they break very easily, and promised he would, and I think he has. Nearly there. Oh, now, I'm not sure if the records are okay, but I've seen something which I don't like. He's packaged them in cling film. So I'll probably edit this bit out because it's going to take me a while to unwrap this cling film. Bear with me and I'll be right back with you in a moment. I suppose I could sing a song while we wait. Would you like that? No? Okay. Right, I've got the cling film off. It's all done. Down to the last pieces of cardboard, and still they are stuck together with tape. So again, just give me a moment. Okay, we're in. You should see the floor just beside me here. It's covered in bubble wrap, cardboard, and cling film. Here is the first one. It is by Peggy Lee, Johnny Guitar, and Autumn in Rome. I didn't particularly want this one, but it was included in the set, so I got that one as well. It doesn't seem to have any cracks in it, or chips. It's a bit dull, but I guess they're all like that. Okay, that's the first one. Now to the main attractions. Just put that out of the way. First one here, it's in a Victor sleeve. Slightly different design to the one behind me there. This is one of the first ones. These were made before Elvis was famous, and they used the company sleeves for quite a few years. This is the second 78 ever released, Elvis 78 that is. Heartbreak Hotel on one side, and I Was the One on the other. Looking at that, I can't see any cracks. Okay, looks like it should clean up very well. All right, so far so good. Gotta be careful where I put these things. Right, the third one, this is the second one. This is actually in the sleeve, the Peggy Lee sleeve. I think it's a Decca sleeve. So there's no Victor sleeve for this one. This one is Don't Be Cruel on the A side, and the Japanese version of this single came with a different B side. I think they recognized that it was a bit of a waste putting Don't Be Cruel and Hound Dog on the same single, given how big a hit it was in America. So they put I'll Never Let You Go on the B side of Don't Be Cruel. Hound Dog was released with Money Honey, and more on that later in this video. Just a final check of this 78. It looks fine. There are no scratches on this one either, or more importantly, no cracks. Just looks like it needs a good cleanup, which leads me to the next thing, the best way of cleaning 78s. That's something I'll have to look up. So thankfully they're all in one piece. They all look pretty good. All I have to do now is get a turntable that will play at 78 RPM. Continuing the theme of 1950s singles, I want to take a quick look at some photographs inside this book here. This is a Victor Records catalogue published at the end of 1957. So it contains lists of all the records that were still on catalogue on Victor at the end of 1957. And it's quite a thick book, mainly lists of records and some photographs of the album and record artwork. I'll talk more about the contents of the book at a later date, but this is a really invaluable resource for someone like myself who's doing some research at the moment into Elvis's Japanese singles, EPs and 78s as a follow-up to the book I wrote last year on Elvis's Japanese LPs. But anyway, I wanted to show you some photographs that are at the front of the book that show the process from starting recording a record right through until the record itself is actually finished. So let's have a look at these photographs one by one. The first one there shows the Tokyo office and the recording studio. The second photograph here shows a recording session. I don't know who this woman is. She's really going for it there though with the hand gestures. The third photograph shows part of the control room, the recording control room. The fourth picture there shows people polishing records before they're pressed. Picture number 5 shows a guy actually pressing a record. Then the next picture here, number 6, shows labels being printed. These look like 78 RPM record labels. In this next photograph, you can see 2 women. The woman in the foreground, the records that she has are slightly different to the ones held by the woman at the top of the photograph, if you look closely. The ones at the bottom of the picture there, they haven't had the tri-center pushed out. This record here, you can see, has a tri-center in the middle there. In Japanese, this was known as an optional center. So the woman at the bottom of the photograph, she's holding records that have not had the tri-center punched out. If you look at the woman at the top of the photograph, the record she has in her hand, it has had the tri-center punched out. So that bit of machinery there in front of her is obviously the machine that they use to punch out the tri-centers. In the next picture, picture number 8, this is a guy testing a record. He looks like a real rocker there with the long hair and the sideburns. Probably he was an Elvis fan. And in the last picture there, these people are inspecting and bagging the records. Although the woman on the left there with the nice big smile, the only thing she's inspecting by the look of it is the cameraman. Still, it's important to enjoy one's work. And the last thing I want to talk about today is a single that I recently acquired, a very, very rare single that was pressed in Japan for export. I've shown one of these singles before, this one here. This is My Baby Left Me and I Want You, I Need You, I Love You. And I think I maybe mentioned in the video when I showed this that these records, for the most part, have the letters EP on the right side of the label. In fact, this particular one, this particular coupling was never released in Japan at the time. It didn't come out until 1965-6. Anyway, so I found another one of these export singles, and I'm very grateful to the seller who sold me this from America because he didn't actually want to send abroad, but I asked him if he would, and he did, so I'm very happy about that. This is Hound Dog ES5054, and you can see it's got its original Victor sleeve. Now in Japan, this particular record came with a picture sleeve, and I'll put a picture of that on the screen for you, but the export version came with this Victor company sleeve here. So this one here that I have, My Baby Left Me, this is just a generic RCA Victor American sleeve that I put this record in. So the Victor sleeve is long gone. And once again, you can see that the labels have the letters EP on the right. Now, whether that stands for export or not, I don't know, because in Japanese, EP is the phrase that they used to talk about singles. All very confusing, I know. In Japanese, a 4-track EP was known as a compact record, or kompaktoban, as they say in Japanese. And on the B side, you have not Don't Be Cruel, but Money Honey. So as I mentioned earlier in the video, in Japan, they decided to separate those two huge hits, probably a wise decision. Although having said that, even the Japanese copy, original copy of Hound Dog is actually quite hard to find, with or without the picture sleeve. And just very quickly, you can notice, you will see that this copy here, like the copy of Hound Dog, I've got this one from a seller in America, but you can see that the center has been pushed out of this one, and that's the problem with these export singles. Very much usually they turn up without the center attached. This one still has the center attached, which I'm very, very pleased about. And what I'm really especially pleased about with this one also is, you can see here it says YPX on the front, and the seller actually wrote in his item description that he bought this single in 1956 at the Army base, US Army base in Okinawa. So it's a bit of a relic here, a real piece of history, I think. And right in the top corner, it has the original price sticker of 40 cents. Sadly, I had to pay a lot more than 40 cents to get my copy of it, but still, very glad to have it. And if you happen to be in America and you have similar singles like this with the ES catalog number and the EP lettering on the right, get in touch if you want to sell them, because I'm on the lookout for more. But anyway, that's it for this video. Thanks for watching, and any comments, as ever, drop them in the comment section below. Cheers.